I'm living win, the gimmick and wins from beginning to end. No gimmick if I rep it, dude, I live it then. And you can't do it, so ain't no need for mimicking. I'm not innocent, I'm on a mission, so let me finish it. Matter of time before they summon the army in. I'm probably on the FBI's most wanted list. I'm probably going to hung like an ornament. I'm on a life mission to abolish all the government.
Look around and tell me what you say, because it's coming down, coming down. Are you listening? Stop and look, this is what I made. Yeah, it's going down, it's going down. Open your eyes. The state you're in is a state of mind. Freedom disguise. The state you're in is a state of mind.
How's it going, guys? We are back with our second show. Last week, I didn't really have a name for it. Now I am calling it Liberty Hour. I think that's a really cool name and kind of describes what I really want to be looking for when we talk about politics and everything on here. But this is my second show. Last week I had my friend Ricky on, and I'd like to thank him for being on, and it was a really good show, very successful. Got a lot of good views, and I'm glad that sharing and everything went really well, besides the beginning of the show, but luckily I've figured all that out now. So before I get going and introduce my guest for the second show, let me go ahead and what I do from last week, which is start by giving some scores of some football and basketball for you guys. So last week, if you guys caught the playoff games, the Titans came back against the Chiefs and rallied back to win 22-21. The Falcons beat the Rams 26-13. A lot of people called that an upset. I think the Falcons can go far, but I mean, it was a good game. Jaguars beat the Bills 10-3 in a very defensive game. Saints beat the Panthers 31-26. In my opinion, the best game of the weekend. We got some good games coming up this weekend, and me and my guest will be giving our picks for them here in a minute. And then let me look up some NBA scores for you guys, some basketball scores. So today, only a few games going on. The Celtics beat the 76ers in London, 114-103. The Cavs get killed again. Like last week, they got killed by 30 against the Timberwolves. And the Raptors just beat them by 34 tonight, 133-99. Very surprising. And then the Clippers and Kings just tipped off. And there's like a couple minutes left in the first quarter. That game. But with all that being said, let me go ahead and introduce my guest. I've got Al Armitage on from Lincoln High. He's a junior there. He actually reminds me a lot about myself when I was that age. I was very into politics. He actually might know a little bit more about that than when I did when I was that age. That was when I just started researching everything about it. But yeah, regardless, I got him on. So Al, say hi.
Howdy. How's it going?
How's it going? So, hey, thank you very much for being on. I'm glad you're on this week. How's everything going for you, man? You have a good holidays, a good Christmas and New Year and everything?
Yeah, pretty good. Yeah.
You go out of town at all or anything?
No, my family lives in Lincoln, so we went over to their house during Christmas, so that was fun. Or
nice,
Christmas Eve,
cool.
yeah.
That's awesome. Great. So, yeah, without further ado here, let me go ahead and get into it. So, I was just giving some of those scores for some sports. Let me go ahead and let's do our predictions for this weekend's games. Obviously, the divisional round we got coming up. So, the first game that's on Saturday is the Falcons against the Eagles. What are you saying in that game? You don't have to give me a score prediction. If you do, go ahead. But who do you think is going to win that game and why?
I'm thinking the Falcons, just because I don't know how Philly's going to do without Carson Wentz, because I feel like they're a lot weaker without Nick Foles, and just their whole team's confidence is just I feel like it's lost kind of. And I feel like the Falcons, just the fact that they're at the Super Bowl last year, and I feel like there's a lot of momentum for them, and I feel like like it's just everything's going their way. So I see Matt Ryan winning with at Philly. And I also see them possibly making it to the Super Bowl. I'm not sure though. I'm not sure if they could win against the Saints or the Vikings, but I think they will have one hell of a shot at winning everything.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you there. I mean, I got the Falcons as one of my picks to make it pretty far, and main reason for that is because just like when it comes to playoff time, what matters to me is experience. And I know that there's other teams there who have experience, but the Falcons are hungry. Like, they just lost last year in that heartbreaker to the Patriots, and they want to come back. And I don't think they're going to go out this early. I understand Philly is a good team, but you're a more younger, unexperienced team when it comes to playoff, and I think the Falcons can handle them. I think it'll be a good game, though, for sure. What I find interesting is, like, the Eagles are the 1 seed, Falcons are the 6 seed, yet everybody's saying Atlanta just because of Carson Wentz. And I will say, obviously Philly has a lot more going for him than just him, but he is the heart and soul of that team.
Well, the Eagles' defense is also really good, and I feel like they could stop. I just don't know how. Because the thing about the Eagles is that they've been playing pretty bad teams, and I just don't know like how much their defense can hold the offense down. Because they say defense wins games, but I don't know about the Falcons because their offense is just pretty good.
Well, I mean, defense does win game in the NFL. I would agree with you there. So anyways, heading on to the next game that's going to be that day, Titans-Patriots. So I think, and we're both saying New England, right?
I was watching a video where someone said the Titans, and then I'm kind of thinking to myself, maybe they could pull out a win, but I'm going to go with the Patriots just because the fact that Tom Brady he's just on fire always, and I feel like he's and the rumors of Jimmy Garoppolo, he wanted Jimmy Garoppolo to leave or something was pretty much completely false, but he probably wants to, I just prove that he was wrong or something like that. So I feel like there's a lot of momentum on the Patriots side. I feel like they'll pull out a win against the Titans, but I feel like that they will lose in the AFC championships against I feel like the Steelers will beat the Jaguars, and I feel like they'll lose to the Steelers just because, I feel like their hunger maybe is gone because they just won so many championships. I don't know. I mean, maybe it's still there.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think the Patriots will win this week. I would say it would be one heck of an upset if the Titans beat them. But I'm going to say Patriots this week. I do agree with you that the Steelers will beat the Patriots next week. I do think in my opinion, it's going to be a Falcons-Steelers Super Bowl. I mean, that's just my pick. But yeah, I agree with you. I think a lot of people are saying New England, but I don't think it's necessarily because of all the media circus that's been going on recently. And I don't think it's because of their lack of hunger, but in my opinion, and I understand if you look at it statistically, like their defense has given up like a lot less touchdowns, and obviously now they have James Harrison, but I don't think that their defense is going to be able to hold up against the Steelers in the playoffs. I think that they're going to be hungry next week to go out and get to another Super Bowl again, because I understand Brady's older than Ben, but knowing like that division and how things go every year, this might be the best chance the Steelers have to get to the Super Bowl in the upcoming years to come. In my opinion.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And the fact that it's probably Ben's last year too, and it's like I feel like it's kind of like how when it was Peyton Manning's last year, he kind of even though he didn't do that good, but I just feel like Ben's just going to ball out, because it's probably his last year realistically.
Yeah. No, I was thinking maybe like one more year, but yeah, I agree with you. And I think the Steelers will beat the Jaguars, like you said. I do think they can put up a fight, but I think everybody's kind of like overrating the Jaguars defense. And don't get me wrong, they had a great defense the entire season, but they kind of fell a little lackluster toward the end. And the Bills aren't a great team. They made the playoffs, but honestly, you could have put the Ravens or the Chargers in there. I think they would have put up a better fight and beat the Jaguars, in my opinion. But, I'll say Steelers. I agree with you. Game of the week, and at least in my opinion, Saints at Vikings. And I know you were saying Saints, and I'm going to say Saints too, but I think it's going to be a very close game. I mean...
Did I say Saints? I thought I said...
Well, you were saying that you think the Saints could get, far in, so I just kind of assumed that you think the Saints
would win. Well, I don't know who's going to win that one.
My bad. So who do you think is going to win?
Probably the Saints, but the Vikings, they've also been on fire, and I just don't know if the Saints will be able to pull it out. But
go for it.
I don't know. Drew Brees is baller, but I don't know.
Well, I mean, I will say one thing. Their rush game last week against the Panthers was not there. And so if they don't improve at all, if Kamara doesn't get anything going, then they're going to have to rely on Breeze again. Now, I don't think the Vikings have a great defense, but they have a better defense than the Panthers. It'll be an interesting game. For me, it's I hate basing games around what you'd want to see, but for me it's do I rather want to see Falcons Saints divisional NFC championship game at the Superdome, or do I want to see a home Super Bowl with the Vikings? Because I think that'd be cool too. This is the furthest any team who's had the Super Bowl in their hometown has made, because most teams don't even make the playoffs when their Super Bowl is in their hometown that season. I do think the Saints, though. I'm going to go Saints. But I think it'll be a great game. I think that we could definitely come down to a field goal or something like that.
Yeah, I really would love to see the Vikings win the Super Bowl, because could you just imagine the atmosphere of a home game? I just think it'd be great. And I think the fact that it would be their first Super Bowl win at home, I think that's just amazing.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think it'd be really cool as well. Okay, so away from our predictions of what we believe we're going to see, I want to go ahead and go into something else that's related to football, but isn't about this weekend. You are a Raider fan, I know that.
Yes.
You guys just fired Jack Del Rio, your coach who was there for 3 years, and you guys just resigned John Gruden. This has been the biggest piece of sports news all week. He's getting basically a $10 million deal, $100 million, and that's guaranteed. In fact, I think one of the reasons that he left last time, back 15 years ago, was because he wasn't getting a guaranteed salary, and now he is. And with the current state of where you guys are at, I just kind of want to get your thoughts of, do you think it's good that you guys got rid of Del Rio and got Gruden back? And then what are you expecting to see for next season?
So I have mixed feelings about this, because I really liked Jack Del Rio after the 2015 season, when we went 7-9, when we went from 3-13 to 7-9. I thought that he really improved the team, and I thought the year after that we did even better. I just think it's unfortunate that Carr got injured. I feel like we could have gone all the way. We could have gone all the way, but the 6-10 season was pretty devastating. But I feel like we fired our offensive coordinator. He went to the Broncos. I can't think of his name right now, but I mean, I feel like if we still had him, I feel like we'd still have a winning season. So I don't think it's really Jack Del Rio's fault, but I think we really needed a new coaching staff. But
yeah, I agree.
I really like John Gruden. I really liked him for a long time, and he's just one hell of a coach from what I've seen. He pretty much led the Raiders to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And, him and Al Davis, they kind of collided. I think, didn't he get traded? Because you said...
Well, he didn't get traded. He just... He didn't want to stay because he wasn't getting a guaranteed salary come 2002, which is why he left for the Bucks. And then he won a Super Bowl with them. But, yeah, I mean, I agree with you. They did not have a good offenses. Well, they had a good offense, but their formations they were put in with their offensive coordinator, and then obviously your guys' secondary is what killed you, and which is one thing that's good about Gruden is because he's more of a defensive mind, which will be interesting to see how things play out with that. We'll get back to this in a second for you guys. My 15 minutes are up for the first part, so we'll get you guys going with part 2 here in a couple of seconds. So we'll be right back.